welcome to Half the Battle. Well, it's a brand new year, and we're finally back to the comic this week.
And we're at issue 37, Twin Brothers. The comic may introduce some new characters here. The cover depicts Flint leaping off a tank that's hung below a dragonfly towards a roller coaster.
Okay, comic, you have me intrigued.
The opening page has some of the Joes going to the circus. The Arpco Brothers Circus. You know, after 36 issues, you'd think they'd be able to see through Cobra's clever front corporations.
But nope.
Ripcord, Gung-Ho, and Blowtorch are helping Bongo the Balloon Bear deliver her merchandise, as a way to make up for involving her in a car chase a few issues ago. Bongo reveals here that her real name is Candy.
That's only marginally better than Bongo.
All is not well, though, as they are being watched by a mysterious, flamboyantly dressed guy with a Cobra logo. Meanwhile, Duke is testing some new equipment against a couple of captured Hiss tanks. And whatever the thing is, it's very fast and maneuverable, easily avoiding the tank's guns and taking them out. It turns out the new weapon is the Armadillo tank, driven by brand new Joe Flint. By the way, I do love how the comic so very much tries to make this dingy little thing badass.
I mean, come on! It's a toy! Literally and figuratively.
I mean, it's a tank that's the size of a Volkswagen Beetle. The only thing that small that I find impressive is Tyrion Lannister. And this tank is no Peter Dinklage. Anyway, Flint is an old friend of Duke's who had him assigned to the Joe team. Duke calls him, obstreperous.
Okay, gonna have to look that one up.
It means difficult to control. Man, Larry Hama must have had a word of the day calendar back in the 80s. Flint, in his introduction, seems cocky and sure of himself. Roadblock does say that he can back it up, but come on dude, show, don't tell. Back at the circus, Tomax is trying to contact Cobra Commander, but Destro informs him their august leader is still indisposed. Meaning he's still sulking in his room, brooding about his own son trying to kill him all those issues ago. The long and short of it is, the twins and the Crimson Guards are on their own to deal with the Joes. By the way, Tomax and Zaymot communicate telepathically in this issue, and they can see through each other's eyes. This stupid aspect of their character gets dropped pretty fast in the comic, because it was too silly.
Yeah, but Bongo the Balloon Bear, that's fine.
Just when Tomax has finished the call, a contingent of Crimson Guards show up. These guys are supposed to be elite undercover agents. So, naturally, they are all wearing the exact same outfit, with the same briefcase, and they all look the same.
They are about as subtle as a Ku Klux Klan rally.
They enter the House of Mirrors, where Candy and Ripcord are having some fun. Back at Joe headquarters, well, let's see now. So far, we've gotten Flint, the Armadillo, and the Crimson Twins.
Surely we can jam just one more new toy into this issue.
So, we're introduced to Footloose joining the team. Wild Bill gives him a warm welcome by referring to him as a bullet stopper and immediately shanghaiing him for a pickup in the Dragonfly, giving him the important task of being ballast. You can just feel the love leap off the page here. They fly by the Joes at the circus on their way. Inside the Hall of Mirrors, the Crimson Guards take off their disguises and ambush Candy and Ripcord.
Hey, wait a minute!
Those aren't Crimson Guards! Those aren't Crimson Guards at all! Yeah, this is a major screw-up. Those character models are from the HISS tank driver, only with the blue chest part painted red. I suppose, looking at the guy, you could mistake it for a discount Crimson Guard. It's still a really stupid mistake though, and one they make for the rest of the freaking issue. Anyway, Ripcord and Candy manage to escape using the mirrors to fool these elite troops. On the next page, we see the Dragonfly returning with the cargo. After just one page, and virtually no time having elapsed in the comic. Meaning that, without realizing it, Cobra had set up a circus directly between G.I. Joe headquarters and their testing grounds. With the Joes not realizing either.
Incompetence all around.
It's a good thing the Dragonfly got back so quick though, as Xamot is peppering the two Joes on the roller coaster with gunfire. Yeah, they sent literally a busload of Crimson Guards after one Joe and a civilian, but Gung-Ho and Blowtorch, Xamot somehow thinks he's got this.
Dumbass.
Speaking of dumb, but admittedly also awesome in this case, Flint leaps from the tank hanging under the chopper onto the roller coaster, leaving Footloose to put the tank on the ground. This is where I feel the cover deceives you a bit, as from seeing it, you'd hope that the tank itself would get dropped on the roller coaster too. But that was probably too cartoony. Speaking of cartoony, Flint strangles Xamot, causing Tomax to start choking as well. Yeah, this is another thing they dropped quickly from the comic, but kept in the cartoon. Meanwhile, some Crimson Guards are checking on the Joes in the cars, but get a nasty surprise as they were just playing dead, and so the fight goes on. Candy and Ripcord make it to the big top, only to be cornered again. He uses a rope and a counterweight to gain some distance and high ground.
I swear, this whole thing feels like a cartoon episode script that they somehow ended up using in the comic.
My suspicions seem to get confirmed, as Footloose and Tomax spent an entire page shooting at each other in the Armadillo and a Ferret ATV without hitting each other, and more importantly, without hitting any of the hundreds of bystanders at the circus. Tomax stealthily escapes by going up a ramp and through a freaking ring of fire, while Footloose accidentally saves Ripcord and Candy by blundering into the big top. The Simpsons already made the perfect joke a few decades ago. Tomax rushes to the aid of his brother by riding his ATV up the freaking roller coaster and catching him upside down, giving Gravity the finger. I do like Flint's expression here. It's basically the same as mine. The twins manage to escape despite a last effort from Wild Bill, and the Crimson Guards scamper too. Gung-Ho can't believe it was just a coincidence that they ran into Cobra. And you know what? I would have agreed with him, were it not for the fact that this seems to happen so frickin' often. The comic ends with Candy having had just about as much bullcrap as she can take, between getting shot at a bunch of times and Ripcord still refusing to give her his real name because of the top-secret nature of the Joe team, so she breaks up with him and drives off, leaving him heartbroken. And that was Twin Brothers.
My thoughts? Well, this was basically a cartoon episode.
I've got this feeling somebody told Marvel they should make the comic more in line with the cartoon series, and this was the result. Between nobody being able to shoot anybody, the over-the-top action and stunts, you can see the influence. This issue was very much about introducing new characters.
Well, toys, but you know what I mean.
And overall, they did a good job of this, with the obvious and painful exception of the Crimson Guards. Technically, we have seen them before, but this was supposed to be the first time we saw their toys. and instead we got his drivers. Inexcusable, really. What did work was the introduction of the twins in all their goofiness. The comic offers an explanation why they do all their flippy gymnast crap when we see them in the cartoon. They are basically circus acrobats. This also explains their eccentric outfits.
Their file cards make no mention of their acrobatics, by the way. That seems to be an invention of the cartoon and the comic.
Overall, the story is a little more goofy than I would have liked, but served its purpose of introducing some new toys. It's not the worst, but it could have been a lot better.
See you next time, everybody.